He prayed like a man of God, but collected like a thief. And by the time she realized the truth, her marriage was already hanging by a thread. Pastor Damiers was known in his area as a firebrand preacher. His sermons were loud, dramatic, and filled with authority. He would shout, hit the pulpit, command demons to leave, and people would fall under his anointing. At home, he had a wife and 2 sons. To outsiders, they looked like a perfect, godly family. But behind closed doors, his hunger was not just for souls, it was for things. One afternoon, he walked into a phone store. That was where he met Zerel. Zerel was calm, respectful, and hardworking. She wasn't deeply religious, but she believed in God. When Pastor Damiers began to talk to her, it felt spiritual. He gave her prayer points. He spoke about her future. He said things that felt too accurate. And just like that, she trusted him. But her manager didn't. The manager watched closely as Pastor Damiers kept visiting. Every time he came, the atmosphere changed, especially around the women. After one of his visits, the manager couldn't hold it in anymore. "Zerel, that man is not right," she said bluntly. "He's always asking. Always hinting. Always expecting something." Zerel frowned. "No, he's a man of God." The manager shook her head. "A real man of God doesn't beg you for the latest phone." Zerel ignored her. Because when people are searching for answers, they often silence the warnings. Time passed. Zerel got married to a kind man named Terex. They built a peaceful home together, and out of respect, she invited Pastor Damiers into their lives. At first, everything seemed fine. He prayed for their home. He advised them. He laughed with them. Terex even helped him, gave him money, supported him, even helped him set up a small shop. To have something to fall back on, Terex said. But then, the request started. "God said you should change your TV. God said I should use that camera. God said you should sow into my life. God said you should buy me shoes." Everything became a God said. Nothing came from the heart anymore. Everything came with pressure. Zerel became uncomfortable. One night, she turned to her husband and said softly, "Don't you think he asked for too much?" Terex hesitated. But deep down, he knew. Then came the storm. Their marriage hit a rough patch. Misunderstandings grew. Silence filled the house. Zerel, desperate for help, reached out to Pastor Damiers. At first, he responded. He prayed. He sent Bible verses. But suddenly, he stopped. He blocked her. Zerel was confused. This was the same man who had been entering their home, eating their food, collecting their money. Now, he disappeared. She cried. Called. Prayed. Nothing. One day, she used a colleague's phone. He picked. "Why did you block me?" she asked, her voice shaking. Silence. Then he ended the call. But the truth doesn't stay hidden forever. While ignoring Zerel, Pastor Damiers was secretly meeting Terex. Collecting money. Giving one-sided advice. Twisting the story. Until one day, everything came out. Terex confronted him. And in that moment, the illusion broke. He saw clearly. This wasn't a shepherd. This was a man who fed on people's vulnerability. Terex returned home. Zerel sat quietly, eyes swollen from crying. He sat beside her and said, "I'm sorry, we trusted the wrong person." They cut him off. Completely. No more calls. No more, God said. No more manipulation. And slowly, they began to rebuild. Not everyone who speaks in God's name speaks for God. Some people use spirituality as a tool to enter your life, gain your trust, and take from you. Ladies, be intentional. Be discerning.
They thought walking away was the end, until the truth started chasing him. Zerel and Terex thought cutting Pastor Damiers off would bring them peace. And for a while it did. Their home became quieter. No more strange, God said. No more pressure. But something still didn't sit right. Because how does a man walk into people's lives, take from them, break them, and just move on? Then one Sunday, Zerel saw a flyer. Fire 3 days prophetic fire conference fire. With Pastor Damiers. Her heart skipped. Same voice. Same man. Still standing on the altar. Still calling himself a servant of God. That night, she looked at her husband and said, "What if we're not the only ones?" At first, Terex didn't want trouble. But truth has a way of pushing you. So they went. The church was full. Music loud. People shouting. Women crying. Men kneeling. And there he was. Pastor Damiers. Preaching like nothing ever happened. "Some people are fighting your destiny," he shouted. "Disconnect from them." Zerel felt her chest tighten. Because she realized. He had said those same words to her, before blocking her. After the service, something unexpected happened. A woman walked up to Zerel quietly. "You came too," she whispered. Zerel frowned. "Came for what?" The woman hesitated, then said, "To see if you would recognize me after everything he took." Zerel froze. Within minutes, another woman joined them. Then another. Different faces. Same story. "He said God told me to give him my savings. He collected money for a deliverance. He stopped picking my calls after I refused." Zerel looked around. This wasn't a coincidence. This was a pattern. And that was when Terex said something bold. "This ends today." The next Sunday, they came back. But this time, not alone. 5 women. 2 men. All with stories. All with pain. All with evidence. Service was halfway through when it happened. Pastor Damiers was deep in preaching. "God is exposing your enemies." "No," a voice shouted from the crowd. "God is exposing you." Silence. The entire church froze. Zerel stepped forward. Her hands shaking, but her voice steady. "You told me God said I should buy things for you. You blocked me when I needed help. You lied." Murmurs filled the room. Then another voice. "And me too." Then another. "And me." The altar became a courtroom. Pastor Damiers tried to control it. "Don't let the devil use you." "Is the devil the one collecting money too?" someone shouted. Gasps. But just when it seemed like chaos, a voice spoke from the front row. Soft, but powerful. It was his wife. She stood up slowly. Tears in her eyes. Hands trembling. "I have been quiet for years," she said. "I told myself it was ministry, sacrifice. God's work." She looked at him. "But I know the truth." The church went dead silent. "He beats me when I question him. He brings things home that don't belong to us. He calls it seed, but it is not seed." Her voice broke. "It is greed." The shock was unbearable. Then came the final blow. One of the women stepped forward and dropped a small recorder on the altar. "I kept this," she said. She pressed play. And his voice filled the speakers. "Tell her God said it, she will give it faster." The church erupted. In one moment, everything collapsed. The shouting preacher. The powerful man of God. The respected pastor. Was now standing exposed. Some people cried. Some walked out. Some just stood there, stunned. Zerel didn't shout. She didn't insult him. She just looked at him. And walked away. Because sometimes, the greatest victory is not revenge. It's truth. When people refuse to question what looks spiritual, they become easy targets for manipulation. Not every loud voice carries truth. Not every pastor carries God. Discernment is not disrespect. It is protection. The day truth speaks, even the loudest lies go silent.
Not every man of God deserves access to your home, your peace, or your resources. If someone's presence always comes with pressure, if every relationship feels like a transaction, that is not spiritual guidance. That is manipulation. God does not need someone to drain you to bless you.